Hey everyone, it is Miss Ryan here, and I thought that we would start to work towards the unit circle. And in order to do that, it's helpful to really understand the special right triangles. So this is to help you remember a 45, 45, 90 triangle. The side lengths are x, x, and x root 2. And then for the 30, 60, 90, across from the 30 is your x, across from the 90 is your 2x, and across from the 60 is your x root 3. So I'm going to show you 7 examples. They're pretty quick in order to help you remember how to do these. So we will start with the 45, 45, 90. And I'm going to draw this example. This is 6, and this is x, and this is y. So the way that I like to start these problems is to just write in those side lengths. So for the 45, 45, 90, the legs are the same, right? X and X. So I'm going to label this as X. This is also X. And then this is going to be your X root 2. And so you know that if this side is 6, this side will also be 6, and this side will be 6 root 2. For the second question, it's also a 45, 45, 90, and this side is 8 root 2. I'm going to leave the letters off this one. I think that was a little bit confusing. So the fact that it is a 45, 45, 90 means this is x, and this side is x root 2. So if you look at the hypotenuse here, if x root 2 is equal to 8 root 2, that means that x is equal to 8. You could also look at that as a little equation and solve it by dividing by root 2 if you want, and that also tells you that x is equal to 8. And so both of those legs would be 8 because the 45, 45, 90, the legs are the same. Okay, the very last one in this set of problems for the 45, 45, 90 is a strange one. So this would probably be the most difficult question you would see. So the first thing is that they don't tell you it's a 45, 45, 90. You are going to figure that out on your own because these sides are the same. And if those sides are the same, then that means these angles are the same. And so it would have to be a 45, 45, 90. And I'm gonna again change that color here. So this side is x, the legs are x, and this side is x root 2. So this one just is not as obvious. If we go back to number 2, when we were looking at 8 root 2 is the same as x root 2, I think it's a pretty clear jump that x is equal to 8. But for this one, that is not as clear. So I'm going to take this, move it over here. The x root 2 side is equal to 10, and I'm going to treat that as an equation, and I'm going to solve it by dividing by root 2 on both sides. And I get 10 over root 2 is the same as x. So the x is 10 over root 2, and this side is the same. You could also rationalize it if you needed to, or if this was multiple choice and you didn't see your answer, and you would do that by multiplying by root 2 over root 2. So you have 10 root 2 on the top. Root 2 times root 2 is root 4, or 2. You could also write that as 10 over 2 is 5 root 2. So rationalized, that side would be 5 root 2. You will not see a lot of those questions, but it does show up, so I wanted to show you that. And then the last set of questions is going to be the 30, 60, 90. So we're going to start with 30 degrees here and a 2. Okay, so for the 30, 60, 90, when you write in your side lengths, across from the 30 is always your x, across from the 90 is your 2x, across from the 60 is your x root 3. So that's a great thing to practice writing in. But you can see that on this question, you know right away that the x value is 2. So that means I can go here. I have 2 times my x value, which is 2, and I get 4. And then across from the 60, you have x, which is 2, and root 3. So then you have all 3 of those side lengths. For the next one, we're going to write the 60 degrees here, and this is 8 root 3. Okay, so again, here's your 30. Across from the 30 is your x. Across from the 90 is your 2x. Across from your 60 is your x root 3. And so I think this one, you can just kind of look at that one and see if x root 3 is the same as 8 root 3. If x root 3 is the same as 8 root 3, what is the x value? The x value is 8. If you need to solve that like an equation, you can divide both sides by root 3 and you get that x is 8. But again, I think you can get that by just looking at it. So your x value is 8, and that means 2x is 2 times x, which is 8, is going to be 16. So there you have all 3 sides of that triangle. The next one, number 6, I'm going to put the 30 degrees here and a 10 here. So I'm going to write in my side lengths. So across from the 30, that's your x. Across from the 90 is your 2x. This is your 60. Across from the 60 is x root 3. All right, so the equation we're looking at this time is that the 2x side is 10. So if 10 is 2x, you might know already x is 5, or you can solve that to get x is 5. So we have x equals 5, and then across from the 60 we have x root 3. Well, x is 5, so we have 5 root 3. And there you have all 3 sides. This side is 10, this side is 5, this side is 5 root 3. And the very last one is another one of those really weird ones that you won't see a lot of, but I want to show you just in case. So this is an 8. And then this would be our 30 here. So I'm going to write in the side lengths. We have across from the 30 is x, across from the 90 is 2x, across from the 60 is x root 3. So that x root 3 side is 8. So again, this one is not a really obvious one, but if you look at that as an equation and solve it by dividing by root 3, you get x is 8 divided by root 3. So that is going to be the side here that's labeled as x, 8 divided by root 3. Let's go ahead and rationalize that right now, just so the next part is easier. So we're going to multiply by root 3 over root 3. We have 8 root 3 on the top. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9, or just 3. And the very last one is 2 times x. Well, we just found x right here is 8 root 3 over 3. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So if you're multiplying, you get 16 root 3 over 3. Sorry, I'm running out of room there. So that is all 3 sides of that triangle. And I want to just finish with going back to number 1, because that one was a little bit strange how I had the letters on there. So let me just show that one more time without the letters. So if we were just looking at it like this, and we knew it was a 45, 45, 90, Our labels that we're putting on are going to be x, x, and x root 2. And so you have x is 6, here's another x is 6, and then this side x is 6, and you have the root 2. So then you have your 3 side lengths of that triangle. Okay, hopefully this is going to help you with the worksheet, but please feel free to send me any questions, or if you want to check any of your answers with me, just let me know.